I'm Patrick Ryan. I'm joined today by Lee Bristow, the CTO of Phinity Risk Solutions. Lee, just looking back on 2021, it's been an interesting year, interesting 2 years.
Yeah.
If we focus in on 2021, what would you say the key achievements have been for you from a Phinity platform perspective?
Yeah. So the Phinity platform has literally transformed in the last sort of 18 months. I think for us, the sort of the upheaval in the way in which we were working over the last sort of 18 months has almost been a benefit towards Phinity, because we were actually pulled out of the office and into kind of our technology, if you will. And what that really meant was that we were able to collaborate at much more rapid paces, or a more rapid pace. And I think that really kind of transformed the way that we worked, and also created almost scalability, even though we were a small team. What happened then is that transcended into the platform, and the output of that was that we had massive amounts of features and improvements that have come into the platform that align to where the industry is moving in terms of the next level of risk and compliance. I don't think we have a 2.0, 3.0, or 4.0 in terms of where we're going, like the internet is in terms of risk management and compliance, but it kind of just feels like we're kind of kicking out at somewhere around 2.0 at the moment. Everyone is going down robotic process automation and that kind of stuff, and Phinity has really adopted that. But I think we've created a different flavor of it, and I think that's a massive achievement in terms of our platform and what we've developed over the last sort of 18 months. And the recommendation engines, the skip logic around the questionnaire, the questionnaire bank and all that kind of stuff that just kind of has pushed the platform into that realm where risk management, compliance, ethics, robotics process automation is kind of living, which is like massive, right?
It's an exciting space.
I know, it's super exciting, and it just kind of sets us up for what we're expecting to come down in 2022.
Yeah, well done to you and the team for kind of embracing 2020 and 2021, the adversity, and actually spinning it on its head and actually using it to your advantage, as you explained. Has our clients' automation processes and digitization also kind of driven certain features from their side?
Absolutely. One of the key elements is that, as I've often said, we listen to what our clients are saying. We listen to what they need, because if one client has a problem, 10 others have the same problem as well. So very often we create solutions for that one individual, that one company, or that one department, and we don't really think about how we can actually develop something that will solve many people's problems based on that one use case, as an example. And that's one of the key elements that we brought in with that role-based, not the role-based access, but the robotic process automation, because you can actually configure our platform the way that your process currently operates. And that's a massive selling point of the platform, but it's hugely advantageous to the client, because they don't need to re-engineer themselves. They don't need to develop something. They don't need to go to the market and kind of pull all of this together. So in terms of achievements, in terms of the platform, that is it.
One of the big things that I noticed last year was a shift from the previous modules, triplicity, processus, etc., to more of a solution sort of orientation for the platform. What was the thinking behind that? What led to that, and what have you seen come from it? How's the market reacted?
Yeah. So we had developed essentially the Phinity platform, and then 5 modules that sat below it. And those 5 modules were triplicity, processus, expedient, and resilience. As I've just rattled off those names, they mean virtually nothing to you.
Yeah.
And although they meant something to us in the way in which we had developed them and the workflows that are associated to them, they didn't actually resonate within the client market in terms of the way that they were seen, essentially. Yeah. So we shifted our focus more towards a solution focus. And the idea behind that is that when a client knows they're buying third-party risk management or application compliance or privacy, they understand what they're buying. They understand the different elements that are required in order to actually implement something like that. So we've actually broken down our solutions into effectively sort of 5 areas, if you will. So that would be your internal risk and compliance, your external risk and compliance, your audit and project compliance, your treatment action, and your essential risk register. Those are, everyone understands that. If I said to you, we've got an essential risk register, which we're going to link with our treatment action, you understand that. You've got a risk register, you can do your assessments of your risks, you can aggregate it utilizing our voting-based process, which then can lead into a treatment action assigned to various business units. Now, these are really practical solutions that align to the way that business people think, the way that risk and compliance think, and it's also the way in which you would actually use the solution. So the idea of moving from modules to a solution base was just, I think a nice way to actually almost mature our thinking around how organizations should be adopting the platform. But more importantly, we were listening to our clients. We realized that our clients needed to learn a new thing, and that didn't make sense for them. And so adjusting the way in which we work to support our clients better.
And I mean, I've been involved in risk management for a long time, and the elements that you spoke to there, essential risk or risk identification and the assessment thereof, all of those, you could probably take any element of risk and compliance and put it through those elements. So I would imagine that your solutions aren't limited. It's kind of how the clients choose to use the platform.
Exactly. So I mean, we often think about risk and compliance in terms of standards, so implementing an ISO standard or implementing this. But one of the things that Phinity can also do is in terms of thinking about a much broader requirement. So, the Irish Code of Practice for state bodies is a massive piece of legislation in Ireland, as an example, and that requires technically all of our sort of core solution sets for the implementation of it. So it's internal, external, audit, risk registers, treatment actions. And essentially, that is, quite an all-encompassing piece of legislation. But the Phinity solution can actually address that, and you can actually structure the way in which you implement it based on the way that you've implemented it in a people and process and manual way, but just digitize it. And digitize it the way that you've implemented it. So you don't have to rework or rebuild what you've done before. You just simply take the maturity that you've gained and implement Phinity on top of it. So I mean, it's just what I think separates Phinity from the rest of the competitors out there is that it is a platform that allows you to create the way that you work in a digitalized way.
Sure.
It's fantastic.
So it sounds very dynamic. I mean, the list of solutions that we see on the websites, etc. I mean, I would imagine that's going to grow, as our clients use the platform differently.
And I think one of the things that we've realized as well is that clients actually see the platform and realize that they can do something else that we hadn't even put on there as from a marketing perspective. Yeah. And we go, absolutely, that's what it's designed for. There's a campaign capability, there's a profile capability, robotic process automation wrapped into that. Yeah. So use your imagination and let's get it right.
Sounds very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.